just make sure it is.
So are you a pizza lover?
That's me. Just
Yeah.
make sure it is. Cool. Oh, yeah. Let's put it somewhere. Okie dokie. Good morning. Thanks for being here, mate.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
Although I believe it's more in the afternoon for you over there now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like four.
Yeah, right. Not too bad then. So we've had a bit of interaction in game, but I don't really know too much about you, so it'd be good to start there and find out a little bit about the man behind the keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how did you? What was the games you kind of played before you found Legacy?
I'll just start from the beginning. I grew up kind of around video games, not like they weren't super big in my family, but I'm the youngest of five siblings, so all my siblings growing up like played on the GameCube and on the Wii and stuff. But I wasn't really allowed to play many video games. I didn't get a computer until I was in high school, and I wasn't allowed to own any consoles like an Xbox or anything. So mainly, I just would go to my friend's house and play Xbox there. And I got super into Minecraft when it came out. I think I was probably around like 7 or 8 when it came out. I'm not sure, maybe 9 or 10. Um, but it was a game I really wanted to try on a computer. And also, right as Fortnite was getting big, that was like, okay, I really want a computer because I want to play Fortnite. So I would play Minecraft on like the family Mac. We had a Mac Mini, I think is what it was called, and I would play Minecraft on that. That was for about like 2 years. I played a lot in middle school, a lot of Minecraft. That was basically my first computer game. And then I got my own computer and got into Fortnite. And so I played Fortnite and Minecraft basically were my two main games going through high school, and then I got into League as I was getting out of high school, right when COVID hit, actually. So I played a lot of League during COVID.
Yeah,
Um,
right. I got a few thousand hours on League. I've been addicted
yeah,
to that
yeah. I was
beast before.
looking at your banners, got silver with some pizza.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I originally made this because me and my buddies used to do the Clash Cups,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
Those are
I'd
fun.
I'd record those and kind of put a few clips. I think there's still a few from years ago on here. Go back.
Nice. Yeah. Didn't your channel used to be named Pizza something?
Yeah, pepperoni pizza boys. But then I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, doing
I remember watching your first herbs guide, and your channel name was something like that.
yeah, I did the herb guide and then the king mint guide and.
I really like those two videos. So
Oh,
thanks for
thank you
sharing.
very much, man. Yeah, I think forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I'm not. I think the very first thing I ever saw of you, because Legacy is my first time getting into any sort of content creation and kind of actively watching stuff. And I believe the first clip I saw from you was the one the studio actually put up as a short as well. And it was a little fight
Oh, the rogue.
on, yeah, the fight on the
I remember.
castle tops. With
Yeah,
that was you, wasn't it? You were playing the rogue.
it made it so much better because the guy in the clip was so salty about it.
It was an amazing clip. He just kept cycloning from rooftop to rooftop, and you just
It
followed
was
him up
so funny.
perfectly with those phantom daggers. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
you must sounds like you're quite a lot younger than me.
yeah. I am 22, much younger.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty young in the legacy scene of at least the people I know on legacy.
Yeah, have you seen the 8 and 11-year-old brothers on OCE?
Yep, yep. Oh, I think I got one of them on my team over and over actually,
Yeah,
playing with those.
it would have been Fidget, I'm sure, the warrior.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's it's quite phenomenal how good he is for his age. I think it's going to be
Yeah, yeah.
funny come season two just how many people are going to get totally caught off guard by this 8-year-old. I wish he
Have you
streamed.
seen the family that streams?
Yeah, that's
I
them.
think Mike. Oh, wait.
VMAD. VMAD's house is the dad. Biff McSomething is one of the sons. Fidget is the other son. I think there are others.
Goose? That guy?
No, there must be another family
Sure.
then.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I'm talking about Suki Goose. I think his name is Mike on the Discord.
Yeah, okay, no, yeah, well, that must be an American one.
That's really funny.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's American.
yeah, Fidget is one of 5 in a family that all play Legacy.
That's awesome.
I don't know if any of
I
them
guess there's 2
stream.
families.
Yeah, it's very cool.
The one in America streams, and he has like this multi-screen setup, so he has all 4 POVs or like 3 POVs.
Yeah,
He has 3
right.
kids plus him.
So he's like
Really funny.
streaming for the whole family, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's very cool. The other clip I have to say is like, I don't know if I've seen a better clip as you playing the priest. You know the one I'm talking about?
I have no clue. Oh, the 1v9 in Crypt?
Yeah. Were you? So you went in solo, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah, right. That must have been.
I was just like, I didn't have much to do. I wasn't really into grinding at that point in the season. I was just kind of just playing to like PvP.
Yep.
And so also everyone wasn't running gear, so I was just running around in greens like trying to have something to do. And the class was pretty busted, so I would just try to like 1v2, 1v3 people.
Yeah, back before the Heaven's Ward nerfs.
Yeah, all the nerfs there. And there was the bug where your ward was instant. Like that was insane. That bug was super, super strong.
Yeah, that was a nice one. I was running it until it got nerfed. I was enjoying it quite a lot.
Yeah. But it didn't work for the staffs, so it was just a sword and shield buff. It was great.
Yeah, right. Sorry, my son's just come in and decided to start playing some drums. I'll just get his mum. One sec, sorry. Hey, mate. Drumming. Whoop, sorry about that.
Oh, good, oh, good. I don't think I finished my gaming history.
Yes, please.
So left off on League. About a year or 2 after I started playing League, my League friends actually got this game called V Rising, and they're like, "You got to try this game. It's a new survival game that just came out." And so I played it with them, and I got kind of hooked because we were playing. They were kind of like, it was the same friend group, but with kind of like different sides. So these 2 guys on the server were speedrunning. They knew everything about the game. I was brand new. I didn't know anything. And they kept killing me. And I was like, man, I got to get better at this game so I can beat these guys. And so that's what inspired me to get into V Rising. And then I played V Rising, basically just V Rising for like, oh, actually, no. I played V Rising for a couple months, pretty hardcore. I got into it. I learned the game. I really enjoyed the PvP. But then I kind of got bored of it. I moved on, and I played a lot of Valorant. I think I have like 1.5k hours on Valorant. And then the next year, they updated V Rising, and I started playing V Rising again. And then I played V Rising for like a year straight. And then same thing, I just kind of got bored of V Rising and moved on into Dungeonborn. I had never played an extraction game. I think Dark and Darker kind of got big while I was playing V Rising, and like some of my friends on V Rising went to play Dark and Darker, but I never really got into it. I think I have like 10 hours on it. I actually hated it. I thought it was the worst game ever. But Dungeonborn came out. My friend that I live with, actually, he was like, "You got to try this new game that just came out." It's kind of a theme. And so I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out." And then I grinded Dungeonborn for like, I think it was only like 4 months or something before the game pretty much died. But I loved Dungeonborn. I got like 1,000 hours in it before I stopped playing.
What sort of combat was in that game? Was it similar to this,
It was first person, so pretty different. And there was no evades or anything, no iframes. It was very different. And there wasn't really a ranged class because apparently they had an archer in the playtest or something, but they just removed it because it was too toxic. But there was a rogue that had a crossbow, and that was basically pretty much the range class. And then they had like some mages and stuff that had some ranged options. But a lot of it was like the melee classes try to parry, and then if they get a parry off, then they get the repost, and it just like nukes you for at least half of your health. And then the mages were all about just like kiting and blowing up people, and then the rogue had like this insane tech for a while during the first couple months, where you could have loaded crossbows in your inventory and then just like shoot one and then swap and shoot another like that.
Right.
It was pretty busted. So
classic
that game died.
animation cancelling on the hunter again.
Yeah, it was like that. I would just triple crossbow someone. It was really fun. But Dungeonborn died. It was a great game. Rip Dungeonborn. And I heard about Legacy from the Dungeonborn Discord. A lot of people were trying it out. I think Firebox was one of the first people I heard talking about it. And so then I tried the first Legacy playtest, and I was like, it's I played with my friend Squidly. He got actually into it a lot more than I did. But then the second playtest is where it really clicked, and I was like, man, I love this game. Because they did an arena session for like 1 hour. They're like, oh, we're going to do this special event one day of the week-long playtest. For 1 hour, we're going to have arena. And I played with my friend Squidly, and it was so fun. I was playing Hunter. I finally figured out I can like shoot people into a wall, and then it stuns them, and then I can hit them with my bomb and my eagle. It was really fun. And then after that, I just played I just no-lifed the game every playtest when it came out. And then I started playing it in Season 0 on EA.
What would you say?
And now we're here.
What would you say? Because I think something that sets you apart from everybody else, in my mind anyway, is when I think of one of the good players or one of the big names in the game, it has a class associated with it. Whereas with you, I don't really know what's going to be coming at me. I've had many arenas where you've destroyed me on one class. I load into the next game and I'm like, oh, thank God he's not here. And then it turns out it's you again. So
I'm the heck? That's a wizard.
I'm curious, what would you say if you had to pick one class? What would you pick?
Definitely Hunter. It's the one I started on that I had probably like 200, 300 hours on before I even went to another class that I tried for more than like an hour or two.
Yep.
But it definitely helped starting early in the playtests. I don't really have more hours. I actually have less hours than a lot of the like top players on the game. But I've been playing the game a lot longer. So I like during the playtests, I would max out the Hunter and then I would get bored. And so I would want to learn a different class. And like each playtest, once I'd mastered the Hunter, then I would go to the next one. I think I learned Rogue. I was starting to get into Rogue and Priest in the last playtests, right before EA came out. And then right when Season 0 came out, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a Rogue main. I kind of do that before every season or every playtest. I just commit to like maining one class for the start.
Yep.
And I loved Rogue in Season 0. I played a lot of Rogue. I think the clip was from Season 0, right? That you saw of me playing Rogue?
It was, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I mained Rogue in Season 0, and then I kind of went back to Hunter. And then I tried Warrior out actually at the end of Season 0, and I played a lot of Warrior in arenas, because that's kind of where it's fun to play Warrior, so you don't have to farm spears and horns. But then in Season 1, actually, Modus was complaining about Priest. He was like, this class is gutted, unplayable, completely unplayable. This class is terrible. And in the Meet the Devs where they're talking about the new Ward ability, I was like, that sounds really fun and busted. So I was like, I'm going to be a Priest main and commit to Priest. And then it turns out it was an insane class at the beginning of Season 1. And yeah, that's kind of it. I've just explored every character because I just get bored like one-tricking something.
Yeah, I still think Priest is very strong.
Yeah. It's
I
a good spot, I think
it has weaknesses like anything else, but generally speaking, I think all the classes are a bit balanced. I do have the normal kind of set out of things we go through, but there's definitely some things I want to focus specifically with you, and that is kind of just the class design, balance, what you think about them all, because I think as one individual, you know better than almost anyone, I would estimate.
Yeah.
So,
got a decent amount of experience.
Yeah, Modus, he's definitely got some opinions. I like him. I certainly don't agree with everything he says, but I respect his insights in the game. He's definitely very knowledgeable. So let's get into that then. So how do you feel about the current state of balance and the metas in the game?
I think uh, I think throughout my entire time playing the game, I haven't really had one like major complaint. Like every time I'm playing the game, I can look back and be like, okay, that wasn't very balanced. But like when I'm playing the game in its current state, I kind of just feel like yeah, it's pretty decently balanced. Like there's nothing I really hate for the most part.
What do you
Like Warriors at the beginning of season 0 were so insane. And
Yeah.
while I was playing then, I wasn't playing Warrior. I was like, yeah, they're not too bad.
Yeah, I remember all of season 0. I swear it was every death match. The top 3 was like Lich, Undead, Strength Check.
Yeah, it's
That,
a lot of Warriors.
yeah, those 3 were in like top 5. I'd say every single DM.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a bit nutty. What do you think in terms of if you had to sort of tier list the characters right now, from strongest to weakest? What do you
That's
think?
hard. Okay. Currently, I think Swiftbow Hunter is the most busted class in 1v1. I've been learning it. It's been fun. There's different tier lists for different modes for sure. We can go over the 1v1 and then the team fights. In 1v1, I think Hunter is strongest, and then also it depends on the map too, and if you're playing an arena or the actual game. Let's go over 1v1 arena, or what do you
Yeah, let's
what do you
let's do
want?
that. I like that because that is just
Okay,
a strict PvP mode. I suppose we're not thinking
yeah,
about
yeah,
PvE mobs or corridors or anything.
yeah, yeah. I would say for 1v1 arena, Hunter's the strongest. I would say the clear strongest just because of Swiftbow. I think it beats everything in the game. And then second strongest for 1v1 arena. Let's see, we've got the Warrior Rogue, Priest, and Wizard. Uh, hmm. I think Dagger Rogue is very strong in 1v1 arena. It's funny, people always complain about rogues like mob dumping on them, but mobs actually mess up Dagger Rogue combos so often it's like impossible to play Dagger Rogue when there's just a bunch of mobs aggroing on everything. So I think Dagger Rogue maybe is tied for second place with Warrior, maybe? Except Warrior's countered by Hunter, which is the strongest, so it probably makes it feel weaker than it actually is. But I would say Warrior's in second place, tied with Dagger Rogue for 1v1 arena. And then probably Wizard and then Priest. I think Priest is weakest in 1v1.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you there. They're definitely designed for. You obviously can find great success with priests in 1v1 if you know what you're doing, but they are, in my mind, designed as a support character to a degree and for team
Yeah,
play.
they created the class without even a melee weapon, with the idea of like, I'm pretty sure everything about its kit was like thought about in a team setting.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you.
And
Yeah,
on that tier list of characters, I would say the gaps between the tiers aren't very big. Even if you're a priest, which I would say is the worst 1v1 class, fighting a hunter, like I would say maybe you have a 10% less chance of winning just because of your class. So like 40-60 to the hunter matchup.
yeah,
But like it's not that big.
yeah. No, I agree. I think everything is within a fine range, but yeah, there's certainly. I like that there's a scissor paper rock element to it almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially in
And
the extraction mode, it's like, well, you run across one
yeah,
class and you're
definitely.
like, oh yeah, this is good, or another one, you're like, do I want to take this? Could this be
Yeah. And
risky?
it's definitely amplified, but at least in the community uh complaints for sure. Like the class disparity where they think like one matchup is completely unwinnable. I think that's definitely amplified in their complaints
Absolutely.
compared to like the reality of it.
Yeah, there's a good quote about that I think about often. That's like, there's you get to a certain point of knowledge in something to think you know the truth of a situation, but it takes a lot more knowledge to actually know that you're wrong about that idea.
Yeah,
And I feel like I read a lot of things and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this.
yeah.
It was like season 0, like the first few weeks, everybody was crying about Rogue. The first month was just like,
Oh yeah.
nerf Rogue, get rid of Rogue, I hate Rogue.
The- all
And
the feedback on Steam too was like, this game sucks because of Rogue.
yeah, And then by the end of the season, I feel like rogues were then the ones asking for buffs and help.
Yeah.
It certainly changes with your game knowledge and yeah, just general combat knowledge. And like you
Yeah,
said, like
without the if you didn't understand the animation cancels on Rogue's kit, which was a bug, they were like all bugs, so they weren't even supposed to be in the game. But if you weren't using those, Rogue was by far, I would say, the worst class at the end of season 0. But if you were using them, I would say Rogue was one of the strongest.
yeah, yeah, there's a big difference between I find like wizard and rogue are probably the two highest variety of gameplay, I suppose. Like you can really tell the difference between a good wizard and a good rogue and a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
one. But yeah, I playing a priest, I don't feel too much pressure from the rogues. I feel like we're
Yeah,
designed to hard
especially
counter them.
dagger rogue.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's like you can just eat there. Go full aggro
Yep.
with your shields up, eat it. Doesn't
You
mean
get poisoned, you
anything.
cleanse it.
Yeah.
You get backstabbed, you pop a heal card.
Yeah. Yeah, I find they're very adept at dealing with them. Uh, if what do you think about the Sentinel strike? That's one where I kind of feel like there's a little bit of warrant for how easy it is for
You're on
hunters
the
to
nerf
generate.
train with that one.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. You might.
I think I think the ability itself is in a good spot, power wise. Have you seen the old clips of Sentinel Strike?
Yeah, yeah,
It used to be like twice as big. It used to travel maybe even faster than twice as fast. And it only required 3 bars of swiftness to cast instantly. It was insane.
yeah. So you think
Um,
it's all right where it is at the moment?
I think the ability's power, just the ability itself, is completely fine currently, but maybe it's way too easy to get swiftness to instant cast it. Maybe it should be like 50% of the time you're using it, it's not even an instant cast just because it's so hard to get swiftness. Because it is an ability that you can use without instantly casting it, and it's pretty fun to use it that way. Um,
Yeah, just with the long wind up on it.
Also, I saw an idea in the Discord that I kind of liked because right now the entire counterplay to Sentinel Strike is just don't be next to the hunter. And if you're not next to the hunter, you should be not getting hit by it like 90% of the time, unless you have no clue what you're doing. Or you're like popping a pot and the hunter makes a good play and hits you while you can't do anything and you're in the drinking animation.
Yep.
But the thing is, hunters are very weak, except for Swiftbow right now has a problem where they just aren't weak ever. But medium bow and longbow, if you're close to them, they're a lot weaker than if you're farther away and you can't do anything. So the entire counterplay to hunter is just line of sight them, dodge them, block their shots until you get close to them, and then you punish them for getting close to them. And then maybe you do like 400 damage and they get away and they heal up, or you stop their heal and you keep running them down and kill them if they mess up running away. But right now, Swiftbow isn't weak when you're in close range. Swiftbow is actually probably stronger when you're right next to them because you're going to be stuck in your hitting animations, and the Swiftbow can just dodge every single one of them while hitting you at the same time with the evade attack and just like the tap attacks because they're not stuck in any animation. And then they can also, on top of that, then boom, they just Sentinel Strike you in the face. So I would say Swiftbow's strength right now is making a lot of people think Sentinel Strike is stronger than it actually is. Um,
So you think it's
because
more of a
nobody,
swiftness generation issue than the ability itself?
yeah, and probably the change where you don't lose swiftness anymore. That was a big buff to medium bow because now you literally just cast it every 10 seconds when it's off CD on medium bow.
Yep.
Um, but medium bow, if they're not on top of you, then you shouldn't really be hitting them with it. And if they're on top of you, then they can be punishing you. And it's kind of easy to predict. Once it takes a lot of playtime and probably playing different classes, playing the hunter especially, to be able to like get good at predicting the Sentinel Strike. But once you have it, it's kind of like you just know every 10 to 15 seconds, oh, he's going to send a Sentinel Strike at me. And then you pay attention to his movement for those 5 seconds where he has it. And then it's pretty easy to dodge. But if they're right next to you, if they're a medium bow and long bow, you can punish them for doing it because they'll walk up to you and then boom, you just smack them with one of your own instant. Like if you grip them, they're going to walk up to you to Sentinel Strike you, and boom, you grip them. Yours comes out faster if you press it before them, and then they can't get it off. Stuff like that.
Yep.
But the Swift bow, just has no punishment because it's just insane.
Yeah, okay, so you think the Swift is probably the only main focus for any sort of changes, if any.
Yeah, to the Sentinel Strike itself.
Yeah.
But I forgot to mention this one idea I saw on Discord I really liked was that the closer they are to the Sentinel Strike, the less damage they take. So maybe like a 5-meter damage drop off where it kind of scales as it goes out, and the longer it goes, the farther it goes, the more damage it does. I thought that
Yeah,
was a cool
okay.
idea.
So ramping damage rather than damage fall off, damage kind of.
Yeah, opposite.
Yeah, yeah, cool. I like that. Yeah, an idea I had for it was maybe doing less damage when it's going through walls too. Like walls kind of take some of the wind out of its sails. Because it does feel bad sitting behind a wall and you don't even know what direction it's coming from. They could have jumped above you or something, and all of a sudden it's just on your head.
Yeah, and that comes with, like, I don't think maybe very, very rarely, like once out of 100 times, I get surprised by a guy that I already know is running Sentinel Strike when he hits me with a Sentinel Strike. The other 99 times, I feel like the skill comes with just playing Hunter and like knowing to listen for them, because you can hear them climbing stuff, you can hear them walking or jumping above you to like get in place to Sentinel Strike you, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The wizard changes. I haven't really seen you play much wizard. Do you play that often?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. How did you feel about all the changes for that?
You're talking about when they added the ice weapon patch?
Yeah,
or this recent nerf to it?
Both, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, I actually didn't play like any wizard until they did the wizard update, and then wizard became OP again. It's like, oh man, it's like I decide to main it before it even comes out, and then people get mad at me for only playing strong things. But I'm like, I was gonna play it. I said it before it was strong that I was gonna play it. But yeah, I basically only played wizard for a little while when the ice weapon came out. I played a lot of fire staff back then.
Yep. Have you played much of the Frost Orb?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's very fun. The tech attack, I think I watched a little bit of the podcast with Kevin. I'm pretty sure he said the exact same thing. The technical attack definitely needs to get nerfed on the frost weapon. It has way too low of a cooldown.
Do you mean the is it the Frost Nova?
Yeah, Frost Nova. I still something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you go breaking through shields and stuff with it? That's the one thing I've seen. Like I've watched a few Frost Orb versus Shield and Mace warriors and stuff, and it just seems like they really struggle to kind of actually get any meaningful damage down.
Yeah, and Kevin also gets tilted playing against priests because of their shells. But I think, I don't know, I play kind of weirdly. I don't really get mad at, like, I'm just fine taking my time and just sitting there trading stuff, hitting their pips and waiting for them to come into me. And then you have your tech attack, which goes through block. I would say the big problem with the warrior matchup is that not only they have 8 pips, but they can just ignore all your roots because they get enraged, and they can be enraged like 80% of the fight.
Yep.
One of the buffs I actually thought they should do, which Kevin agreed on, we were kind of like thinking together and we both thought of it, is they should make the charge attack do 2 pips. So that in a full combo where you do like the full draw and then the tap after, it'll do 3 full pips, which is kind of similar to a longbow, and it takes about the same time.
Yep.
So I think that'd be a good change.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if they got a little bit more hit damage. It does seem to be probably the weakest kind of shield management in the game right now.
Besides maybe Scepter Priest, that one's pretty horrendous.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I don't think about that because it's pretty rare I pull the Scepter out.
Yeah.
I've started doing it recently against hunters.
I think it's actually underrated. I think Scepter Priest is not bad.
I think it is too. I just haven't put the time into it. But I won my first OCE duel tournament this week and had to face off against.
With the Scepter?
Well, I had to face off against a hunter. We did round robin, and there was 3 of us that were 7-2 at the end of the night.
Oh wow!
So nice. we just had to do everyone fights the other 2. I beat the warrior with the staff and then pulled out the scepter for the hunter because I'd versed him earlier trying to do my normal things and was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. And
You know about the bug where when you shoot through your mirror, it'll hit them twice with one projectile. So basically, it's like a 2x damage bug.
With is that with staff and scepter?
No, just scepter.
Okay. Yeah, that must be hard to align because I mean those shots are
Yeah,
pretty wide.
they come out kind of random.
Yeah.
I practiced it a little bit in Goldbrook. You have to stand on the left side of the mirror on your first shot, and then walk to the middle for your second shot, and then your third shot always comes out like straight through the middle, so
Okay.
that one will always hit.
Yeah, right. I think that's another reason why I don't play the scepter too much because in places like the crypts,
Yeah,
it feels
it's atrocious.
horrible. It's so bad. Yeah, like
It's disgusting.
they're standing in the middle of a doorway and all your shots are just getting eaten by the stone
Uh-huh.
walls either side.
And the charge shot that's more straight is completely garbage. It takes so long to charge up, and it does 0 pips. So
Yeah,
all they do is hold block for it.
yeah, I would like to see if they did a little bit of work to the scepter. I feel like it could really take over the priest meta.
And I think I would be frustrated if that happened. I just really hate. Same with the swift bow, except there is a lot of aiming on the swift bow. But the scepter, there's 0 aim with the weapon attacks.
Yeah,
Every single one just auto aims for you. So I'm glad that it's weak.
yeah, you're probably right. Even if they kind of toned some of the damage down on a bit, but made it a little bit more usable. Like I said, in corridors and places like the
Yeah, I
crypts.
think it should be usable. More than it is now.
Because yeah, right now it doesn't feel real good in those scenarios. That's why I feel like, what's the point in investing all that time into it when you can't even use it half the time?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about like the cadence of how often they're balancing and the amount they're doing? I suppose with each patch.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, like as a player, I would love it for them to patch the game once every like 5 days. I think that'd be great. But in a realistic sense, and like hearing personally from Trickery during his streams, like he's basically the one person working on balance updates, and he has to. This was his words. He basically like has to look through all the channels, watch different streams, and get like the general consensus of the community, which takes about a week. And then he has to do all the coding and like changing numbers and stuff, which takes like another week. And then I think he talked about something else as well. But basically, it's a lot of time for just one person to be doing it.
Yeah,
Um, so like it's completely understandable that it's during the beginning of the season they do it somewhat urgently, like maybe once a week in the first 2 weeks, and they do come out like with some pretty fast hot fixes for stuff that's actually broken. But towards the middle of the season and after, they basically just completely leave it alone, which I think would be nice to see a change for at least once every 3 weeks or once every 2 weeks. I think would be a good cadence.
yep,
Um, but if they like had more devs on the team and more people working towards it, I think that'd be great. Like once a week would be awesome for balance changes.
yeah, I agree. Even 2 weeks, like you said, I think 1 week could be a little bit hasty because people. This game does take a
Yeah,
little
true.
bit to understand the real nuances of things. People can think things are broken or underpowered before they actually understand how to use them properly.
Yeah.
We've seen
Yeah,
that many
probably
times.
for actual balance changes, I think 2 weeks is perfect.
Yep.
But for things that are like bugs, like obviously this is a bug, and you can talk with the dev, and he's like, "Oh, yep, that's a bug. That's not supposed to be in there." I think those should be like very high priority, and they should do like combat balance bug fixes like at least once a week.
Yeah. I think even at this point where there's not a huge amount of end game, use the content creators and have that PTR up maybe more and put some of the changes into that to actually let the guys
Yeah,
try out and give feedback on. Could be a good way to give us guys something more to do, I suppose, and also
yeah.
get
I'm sure
content
there
out
are
quicker.
like things behind the scenes that we have no clue about that are reasons for why they're not. But
Yeah, it's all fair and well for us to want all these things and suggest all these things, but
yeah,
I have no idea what goes into it. I'll be the first to admit. I
yep.
have no idea
Me too.
what sort of time it takes to do any of these things. What about?
Also,
Oh,
it kind of seems like.
there you go.
Oh, go ahead. No, that's okay. It was just a side thought.
Oh, we'll go for it, man.
Okay, okay. It kind of seems like the builds. Actually, this might be NDA. I don't know. Well, basically, but like I think the live build that they put out doesn't have like we can test something and it'll be perfect, and then the next day they'll upload the live build and boom, like everything is wrong. So I think even if we like they did give us a PTR and we could test everything thoroughly, I think it wouldn't really like get rid of all the problems that comes with a big update.
Yeah, I have heard that's an issue. You fix one problem, put it live, and then it breaks three other things. Like you
Yeah.
change a combat
And even
thing,
if
and
it's
then the shop
working in the
breaks.
PTR,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just randomly broken when they upload it.
yeah.
Which sucks.
That would be so frustrating to deal with. I can't imagine how you'd even
Yep,
begin.
so annoying. Yep.
Yeah, someone says prime example, the wizard combo being uncounterable, but now everyone has a counter for it. Which I think is not a bad thing. Those wizard nukes before were a little out of control.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of just getting one tapped by wizards over and over again.
And it was a complete swing. Because the wizard before was like definitely considered the worst class. I saw like one wizard a day. And then boom, the update comes out and then the wizard's just insane.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, the death matches, it went from, yeah, it'd be rare to see a wizard to every single game's got a wizard.
Yeah.
Are there any major bugs or class things that you think need addressing? Like, for example, I know that the Warriors are desperate to have their charge is meant to be unstoppable, right?
Oh yeah, they're getting staggered through like with fireballs and stuff.
Fireballs
I'm not
and
sure
the Sentinel Strike, I believe, does it as well.
I think it's more a problem with other things, not the charge. I think charge is working the way it's intended. It's supposed to be interruptible by things that stop unstoppable stuff, like a whirlwind on a warrior, for instance. If you whirlwind the warrior while he's charging, it would like get him out of his charge.
Yep.
But a lot of attacks in the game currently, like the fireball, isn't supposed to stop unstoppable stuff at all. I don't know why it is, but that'll be a really nice change. And apparently, Trickery said Sentinel Strike. It is supposed to go through blocks, so it's supposed to be kind of a red attack, but it's not supposed to stagger unstoppable stuff. Same with Airbolt.
Right, so yeah, they should still be able to charge through that Sentinel Strike, is what he said.
Yeah, I think so. And same with like a cheap shot, because right now you can Sentinel Strike a rogue cheap shotting you, but after the change, I think if what I'm understanding is correct, they'll just be unstoppable still during the cheap shot and cheap shot you through your Sentinel Strike, stuff like that.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I think.
And that alone is kind of a big Sentinel Strike nerf by itself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think maybe some of these complaints about hunters would dissipate a little bit if the other classes were interacting with them, I suppose, as they should be, how it was designed to do so. If that makes sense. In terms of the amount of CC and stuff in the game, how do you... This is going out on a longer time scale, I suppose, but as more classes and abilities get added to the game, what sort of fears do you have? Because I remember, I don't know if you ever played Overwatch, but I played a whole lot of it. And the game kind of got to a point where everyone was very upset with the amount of crowd control in the game. Felt like nearly everybody had some form of crowd control. And then they basically removed it off all of the supports, all of the damage, and kind of left that crowd control sort of unique to the tank classes in the game. Just because it was getting too chainy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
you just combo and kill someone.
Yeah, like just say Paladin comes out with a stun and it's sort of a free stun and it just lines you up for a cheap shot or a wizard dragon breath or something like that, and you just start getting these combos that are built around just locking someone down with no answer. What do you think about that sort of thing?
I think they have a lot of work they need to put into the resilience mechanic in the game. I think when I played League, I really hated. Basically, I could go into a team fight and then I would die, and I'd check like the death recap, and I was literally stunned for the entire fight duration.
Yeah.
And I really hated that in League. I thought that was really dumb. But then I think comboing as a team, it's very, very. If combos are very hard to pull off, where you're stunning someone, staggering them, rooting them, slowing them, etc., into like really cool combos with your teammates, I think that's very good and fun and should be in the game. There was stuff like that in V Rising, and then they added a form of DR. What is DR?
Diminishing
Damage
returns.
resistance. Yeah, diminishing returns. Yes.
Yep.
They added DR to CC in V Rising, and I think that was a great change. The way it worked in V Rising was good, but I think resilience and Legacy needs a ton of work. I don't think it's in a good spot right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you played World of Warcraft, but it had
I did not.
it had diminishing returns as well, and what it would do was group certain crowd controls together.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember how they were grouped, but just say like fear and something
like
else would be grouped together, and so many of them would basically just start to obviously reduce how long the effects were. But like you said, a stun maybe not being in that same pool as a root or a slow or something like that. Like they all have their own individual diminishing return pools. But if you're playing with 3 stuns on your team, you can't. The second stun within a few seconds, maybe only half the length, and the third one maybe just doesn't even go off.
Yeah.
In the way like resilience kind of works.
It's hard because staggers count as stuns in Legacy, so resilience is just proc from everything basically in the entire game, except for stuff that it should be procced by, like roots. It's not procced by roots, which is weird. But yeah, I think that would be perfect. Categorizing different CC into different like categories, and then changing resilience to work in separate ways like that.
Yeah.
I think that would fix it perfectly. Also, I think making stuns, they kind of went away from stuns in the season 1 update, right? From season 0. They removed a lot of the hard CC. Now there's more end caps, roots, slows, stuff like that. Silences. I think having straight stuns in the game is good. I don't hate them necessarily, just like the design of stuns in a game. But yeah, I think they need to change resilience and maybe even make stuns very rare, but make them very powerful where they don't have any DR. So basically, there's like a couple things in the game, only a couple that can stun someone. But if they get stunned, they're stunned for that like duration of the stun, no matter what, every time they get stunned. I think that would be cool. And then maybe group like end caps and silences together, and then like roots and slows together, something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Also, adding fears into the game would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping we do see some sort of fear from the warlock class or whatever
maybe
we may get.
When a priest shell gets broken, it fears everyone around them.
Yeah, well, priest had a psychic scream in WoW. I kind of wish we had something like that.
I can imagine that ability just from the name.
Yeah, it's just.
Do you know Dota 2?
No, I was more. I just played League. But League had someone did that. Was it Aatrox or Fiddlesticks? I feel like one of them had an AoE
Aatrox,
fear.
when he killed someone, and Darius too.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was when he ulted Aatrox.
I think he just went big. Oh, they changed them so much, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
His characters have changed. Let's talk a little bit. What about like the? I'm sure you'll think the same here, but perks on the gear. You would know most of the classes better, but I feel like as a priest, there's not really much variety, and I've heard the same for warrior. Yeah, okay. So you think for most classes, there's basically one set of gear, and that's about it?
Yeah, for the most part. There's definitely just like a clear, better option in almost every single scenario. So you're kind of just throwing if you're not using that set.
Right.
I think it needs a lot of work. Even the class traits, like outside of the weapon and armor, like just the traits that you can unlock, I think need a lot of work on as well. Which I'm pretty sure they're aware of.
Yeah,
it takes time.
Let's go into that. When you say need some work, what about them do you think needs work? What don't you like about it?
Well, like they need to balance them so that they can have one like main set of armor that's usually better in a lot of situations, which I think is what they're going for. Like they wanted different armor pieces to kind of be niche and like support completely different playstyles. But the problem is that the playstyles they support are so terrible that you're just trolling if you're using them. So basically just balancing them so that like the niche playstyles aren't so unplayable.
Yeah, right. So not so much a problem with the perks, but more about the playstyle that those perks are designed to coexist with.
Yeah, some of the perks are like I just don't like personally, but maybe that's just me. I think
Yeah,
some of them need to be reworked and stuff.
yeah, like the some of the priest ones that are like landing a Heaven's Fury reduces the cast time of your next charged attack. It's like
I actually think that one's cool
uh,
because I
I
don't
don't.
think it works correctly.
No, it doesn't.
But if it was working correctly, you could Heaven's Fury someone and then start beaming them, and it increases the beam charge up speed. So like maybe by 2x. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. And then while they're stunned, you just start beaming them, and it starts ticking for like 100 each tick, and they just can't get away or block it. And I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if you're playing sword though.
Oh yeah, with swords sounds good.
But I guess yeah, that's what I guess that's what we're talking about. Like maybe it's not the helm you use to play sword.
Yeah.
Um, it's- so let's talk about some of the big issues people have been talking about recently. Um, the the idea of the whole PvP versus the PvE VP. Um,
Oh, people.
yeah, well, a lot of people people love deathmatch. You're always hearing people
Mhm.
wanting to play the deathmatch, and whether that's just because it is not a full time staple, combined with once you get to endgame, there's not much else to do once you get to a certain point. And especially with low player count, I feel like that's a big part of it as well. It's a way you can guarantee just get into some action quickly.
Yeah.
Um, so do you think that the two modes can coexist? Because you get a lot of the extraction Andes, saying, this is an extraction game, go play another game. You know what I mean? They're very
Mhm.
staunch about not wanting that in the game because it's going to ruin the experience, I suppose, that they
All the players
want.
from the maps that they want to play on.
Yes. So,
Yeah, I think is that the whole question? Or are you done?
yeah, well, we'll start there and
Okay.
I'll go into some more things.
Okay. Um, I think kind of like you said, I think deathmatch is only loved so much because it's not a permanent mode, and because towards the end of the season everyone stops playing the game and you can't really do much else. Um, But I think like during the very start of a season, if deathmatch was permanently available, I think a lot of people it would kind of be dead. I think a lot of people would be playing the actual game, especially once they make the actual game, the extraction part of the game, more fun and just better, so that it's like fun to progress through the extraction and to keep grinding the maps and stuff like that. I think bosses and like POIs and events on the map will make a be a big role for that, making those more fun to play. I think they can. I don't think they should ever get rid of Arena. I think having it on. First of all, I think it should be bring your own gear,
Yep.
but they should have like chests or something where maybe it. I think Dungeonborn had a good setup for it. It was basically when you spawned in, you'd be wearing what you had in the lobby, but then there were like chests and stuff that were just well in Dungeonborn they had random rolls on stuff. It would actually be better in Legacy. You just have a chest for it would have like a couple sets of each gear set for that class, and there would just be like maybe 8 chests around, just filled with loot for the class, and like maybe like a 15-second timer before the match starts, and you just gear yourself up if you don't have good gear. I think something like that, enabling that like every weekend or something, maybe twice a week, like once in the middle of the week and then on the weekend as well. I think that would be incredible, and even adding like some sort of leaderboard for wins and kills or just getting like cosmetics, achievements, stuff like that. I think that'd be perfect. But a full time, like never off arena mode, I think wouldn't benefit the game currently or even in the near future.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I floated. It sounds like you've had to listen to the last few chats I've done.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we talked about this as well. I totally agree with the bring your own gear, because if you know there's going to be people with legendaries in there, it's going to want you to be on that equal playing field.
Yeah, you're
So,
gonna want to grind the game.
so I think that would be a good way to keep a symbiotic relationship between a PvE or PvEVP and a PvP mode.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Um, I I also floated the idea with Kevin about even not opening it for a month, like the start of a new season, the arena
Uh huh.
doesn't open for a month, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that'd be a good idea.
a good way to just make sure that the
Maybe 2 weeks, 2 or 3.
yeah, somewhere between 2 weeks and a month. I guess it depends on how long the season's going to be,
Yeah.
or what their plans are for that. If they're going to do a kind of a consistent time, or whether it's just going to be when things are ready, they're ready. I mean, this season and last season are already on different timelines, so hard to know in this early stage of the game. Um, Something I think about it as well. It's more of just a thought. You got something to say on it, you do. If you don't, but I don't like the idea of people saying, this is an extraction game. If you don't want to play this, then go play something else. Because if it's what a vast majority of people want, and it's kind of where we're seeing big player spikes, I don't think that's the right mindset to have. I think
Uh-huh.
I think the devs probably want people to enjoy the game and keep playing the game. And if putting in a mode like this is going to boost those numbers and keep people playing, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think
Mhm.
just telling people to go play a different game because it's not how they want them to play is pretty L take, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I don't think it really doesn't really help anything.
No.
Um, but I do think that they shouldn't listen. The devs shouldn't listen to the community too much, especially with like the game has only peaked at like 4K players. So like I'm pretty sure their target. I have no clue what it is, but hopefully their target goal is like. I'm pretty sure they were shooting for 5K for season one wipe. But in the future for the 1.0 release, hopefully it's like 20K and up. But basically, like the population of the entire game has been so low that you don't really have the feedback from a massive community playing the game. So I don't think they should listen too much to what people want, and they should like completely change the direction of the game that they have.
No, I,
I think they should just keep working on their vision and make it a better game. And then once those numbers like rise a lot, then start listening more to the community.
yeah, no, I totally agree. I think a huge majority of the problems and issues people have right now is could be solved with just more players,
Yeah.
because as new players coming in, they just are hating the fact they're getting farmed and stuff. But that's because
Uh-huh.
most of the people that are playing this game have been playing it a long time. They're pretty
Yeah.
sweaty. It's a very sweaty community. Uh,
And it's a hard game that has a lot of bugs. So
yeah,
when you don't know everything about the game, you're at a really big disadvantage.
yeah, huge. Whereas, yeah, if like you said, if there was 20k players and you're seeing different players constantly and players of different skill levels, I feel like a lot of these concerns would probably fix themselves.
Yeah, I agree. The Dungeonborn, even when it started getting down to like 6, 7K, 9K, 8K, people were like, "Wow, this game is dead. This game's boring." And even in the lobbies, you could see like you wouldn't run into many people or different people. Like the game felt a little dead at like 6K, which is twice what Legacy usually has.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's they're doing well with the small player base that it gets down to.
Mhm. Yeah, I
The
agree.
It's a very dedicated fan base. The people who are
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
Someone brought up in my Discord when I asked for some ideas and stuff for chats to have a listen back to Meet the Devs episode 8. And Chris was talking about the idea of crawl to walk to sprint, and they're obviously still in the crawl phase. But he did talk about this being kind of the idea, the beginning of the IP essentially, and that it could build further into an
I remember this.
MMO and all of
Yeah.
those sort of things. What do you think about that?
I actually, when I started playing the game in like playtest 2, when I played it a lot, I actually like stalked Chris's Discord and like went through, because he had like a bunch of links to different stuff, like about how he used to be a Blizzard dev and stuff like that. And then I think he had a video or something. Maybe it was on his page. It was like it was about him basically. It was how he wanted to make a game that was like an MMO. So it was kind of already on my radar. I knew that like his vision for Legacy was not only just an extraction game. I have no clue. I've never really been into MMOs, but I'm sure Legacy could turn into an MMO that I would enjoy. I don't really know.
Yeah, okay. So not much experience with MMOs, but
Yeah.
definitely interesting idea. Like, I feel like it already going to Arena is already opening it up to a different kind of, or expanding the world and game modes available as it was.
Yeah. I think the more game modes that are implemented well, the better.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
capture the flag game mode, stuff like that. Like I think would be cool, as
Yeah,
long as there's enough people on the game to make all the modes populated.
yeah, 100%. What's your thought on? Again, I just said that I think player count would fix this issue, but a lot of people talk about it, so I'll get your thoughts on gear caps for certain maps.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I just go back and forth. The more, well, like I'll look at a little discussion, read a little bit, and I'm sure sometimes I've been like, yeah, no, it doesn't need a gear cap on any of the maps, and then other times I'll be like, yeah, maybe there should be a gear cap. I actually wanted them to. I think I asked in the VIP chat before season 1. I was like, can you guys make a gear cap so that you can't at least bring legendaries in today? They're like, I think they said no. We just want to see how it goes, and I think that's fine. Probably a gear cap on Greenwood Day where it's just PvP. On the PvE map, I think there can be no gear cap because like 90% of the map is PvE, so you're not really affected by other people, no matter what they're wearing. And like maybe there will be a new player that wants to go try out his really good gear in PvE, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, yep.
But on Greenwood Day, I think blues and below is a decent gear cap for that. And then on the other maps, I don't think there needs to be a gear cap. They already have kind of a gear minimum, which is pretty similar. So
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I think
the other maps.
again, I think that's just the concern of people feeling like they're just getting newer players feeling like they're getting farmed to a degree. But I don't like the idea of like there's nothing funner than going into Greenwood in maybe some whites and a few greens and taking down that guy who's got some blues or purples,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you just
just
get
yeah,
decked out. And to remove that level of hype and excitement from a fight, I don't think is a good thing. For,
yeah. I agree. I think though blues like anything above blues, they could they could get rid of for Greenwood Day, and I think that'd be fine.
yeah, I
But
agree.
probably they should make field lilies stuff like that you can only get. Well, not only, but that you can like farm efficiently only on Greenwood Day. I think they should make those more available on the higher tier maps
Yeah,
if
okay.
they're gonna add a cap to Greenwood Day.
Yeah, so if those higher end players want to go in, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is some materials. I
But
know what you mean on Greenwood Day that you're forced to go back in there, and you don't want to have
yeah,
a
like
green set in your bag just to go do that.
yeah, yeah, or just like getting a naked character to go in there is a lot of work, especially with the stash struggles that we have already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is quite a struggle. I spend a lot of time just managing that stuff.
Yeah, stash storage. It gets worse the more characters you play. It really sucks.
Yeah, true. I can't imagine having to keep gear sets for multiple characters. That must be hell.
Yeah, and it's annoying swapping different characters because you have a bunch of stuff in this guy's bag, and then you have to move it all into your stash into a different guy's bag, stuff like that. It's just
Yeah,
annoying.
I use my other characters mainly for bank, and I've done that, loaded into a map and been like, holy shit, I've got 3 hammers and
I
a
gotta go.
cauldron. I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Hey, I
I saw
just.
the Frangie clip
Uh,
of him deleting his bank. That was so funny.
yeah, yeah. I just gotta run to the bathroom, man. I'll be back 1 minute.
Okay, good. All good. All right, guys, I'm taking over the live stream. Let me open chat here. Inta. Jordan, wait, is that Rakan's friend, Jordan? No, probably not. Number one. Why does it say number one? Number one crown? Top fans. Wow, Rakan, you're number one fan. It's wild. Oh, I got plus 50? Oh, I'm number 3 now. Let's go. Farming rank 1. Is it the more I type? Are you eating a banana? I'm not. I had a sandwich right before. I'm number 2. Let's go. Farming rank 1 over Rakan. Wait, why do you ask if I'm eating a banana? Okay, I'm rank number 1. Rank 1 easy. Get gapped Rakan. There it is. Oh, can you watch my gameplay here?
Sorry, back, mate.
Back?
The idea of them rotating maps, like the 4-hour rotations on that, how do you feel about that?
Have they talked about that?
Yeah, yep.
4-hour map rotation on like night and day, stuff like that?
No, night and crypt. I think the idea is like kind of the next tier of map, like that higher end tier.
Uh-huh.
Especially I think it's a good idea just because if they are going to start introducing more and more maps, especially when they've got 2v2, 3v3, 1v1s, and say 5 or 6 maps, you need a really big player base to ensure that they've got active maps for all type. So I think while the player count is still lower, especially, it's a good band-aid fix, I suppose, to ensure that things feel populated and alive.
Did they, I think I remember, did they talk about maybe like implementing it towards the end of the season when the population is less?
I don't know if they talked about that. I think they just said they're going to look at doing it for the next season, I believe.
Okay.
Like,
4
hours of night, 4 hours of crypt, 4 hours night, so on and so forth.
I think that'd be cool, but probably the less time there is between the swap, the better, in my eyes. So that you don't have to just not play the game. Like maybe once an hour they could swap the maps. So like if you get on and you really hate night, but night is on for the next 40 minutes, you can just like chill, maybe organize your inventory, watch a YouTube video, something like that, and then go to the map that you want to play.
Yeah, so 4 hour you think might be a little bit too long?
Yeah, I think that'd be way too long.
Yeah, I can see that because especially if it's rotating on a 4 hour basis and you're a dad and every night in the hours between 8 o'clock and midnight where you get to play and it's night and you can never go to crypt.
Because they would be consistent, wouldn't they? Like,
in a 4 hour windows.
Every day.
Yes, they would be. So yeah, that could be a bit of a pain point for people with certain windows and stuff. That's a good point. Maybe someone should bring that up to them. Look out for those dads out there. I know the struggle boys.
I guess having it every an hour 30 would change it so that each day it's different. Maybe, would it?
3, yeah, because that'd be 3 hour windows. So yes, that would be constantly changing.
But there are 3 8 hours in a. Wait, you sure?
6, 12, 18. No, they would be the same.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to change that.
An hour 45.
Yeah.
You'd have to go with some wacky math to get that to work. But yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. What do you think a lot of people crying out for like marketing and things to help with player count and all that, and they've said, and I'm totally behind the idea, is like when they feel like things are ready, and they're ready to do so, they'll start the marketing campaigns. Um,
Mhm.
in your opinion, what do you think still needs to be done? What do you think needs to be seen in the game before you think it's a good time to start marketing this, so we don't have, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
a, an overflow of some of the complaints we're currently seeing, I suppose.
I think almost all of the combat bugs, like the big major combat bugs, need to be fixed, and they need to either, I don't know, like maybe that can only happen once they've implemented the core everything about the game, and that can only happen after like 1.0, because it seems like whenever they add new stuff, there's a lot of bugs along with that as well. And I've never really been along for the ride in a game like this, where they're actually in early access and like bugs in the game majorly impact me and how I play the game. Um, it's kind of like a new thing to me, but I don't know if that's normal or not. But fixing all of the major game-breaking combat bugs and bugs where you like get stuck and you can't do anything and you just die and lose everything because of a bug really sucks. So fixing a lot of the bugs, I think they need to do before they market a lot, and fixing the quality of life stuff and just the user experience. Looking at stuff with like descriptions and stuff, I think they need to be way more descriptive and actually give you numbers on stuff and tell you exactly what something does. And then visuals like combat buffs, heal buffs, any afflictions, anything on you, on your character. I think they need to have icons for those and timers on your screen that you can see. They need to rework the affliction bar. It's so we got used to it, I think, because it's been like 5 months of just the affliction being like a weird line looking on the right side of your screen.
Yep.
But they need to update those for sure and have like timers and actually like the reason they haven't done this is because they do a lot of changes on the back end, and so it would like be super time consuming to go through and change all those numbers every single time.
Yeah.
And it would be like a lot of work for the small dev team.
Yep.
So, but I think just once they're ready and they have stuff more solidified where they're not changing it a lot, they need to add like good UI to explain to the player how stuff works. And then after that, I think they'd be ready.
Yeah, I think the those changes they're making to the spellbook next season to actually explain sprint attacks, technical attacks, block attacks, all of that stuff. Because yeah, it took me a long time to work that stuff out at the start of season 0. Like
Yeah.
I'd be 50 hours in and then do something and be like, "What the hell was that? How did I do
Yeah,
that?"
I
And
uh I learned a lot just from like hanging out in Tricker's streams during the playtests and just like hearing stuff that he talked about. I'm pretty sure I'd ask him questions too.
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So you think for the in terms of marketing, more so just the bug fixes, the general user experience, and kind of a little bit more hand holding in terms of explaining the systems and how things work.
Yeah. Obviously there are some like probably there are some design problems with the game. Like a lot of people have complaints about loot and stuff not being fun to grind for. But all of that is like I have no clue who's right, what's better or not. So probably they need a lot of work on. Well, actually, I do have a strong opinion on POIs on the map. I think there need to be more clear POIs where you're not really finding much in parts of the map, and then you go to this POI and then you find a lot of really good stuff. I think those need to be implemented along with roaming bosses or just roaming events around the map. In
Uh,
my opinion, I think that would make the game way better.
well, let's talk a little bit about that because that's something I've had pretty hefty conversations with the last two boys about. Um, I think that's the natural progression in kind of making the maps feel more alive and providing more end game content
Mhm.
is doing those in game events and like roaming world bosses, like you said, just things that keep the map exciting because it does get to a point when you've got all your gear. It's like, what am I going in here to do rather than just find
Yeah.
people? And perhaps putting those in-map events that actually are going to draw a crowd of people and give you something interesting to go for, I think is rather than new maps. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see more interesting things put into the existing maps. What do you think about that? Like, what sort of events did you hear any of the stuff we spoke about?
No, I don't think so. Not on this topic.
Well, I
The
my favorite idea that I've kind of thought of is like, imagine there's you could do more eventually over time, but let's just say start small. There's a big gate in the castle or something, and there's a rare key, a blue or an epic key you can pick up, and you go there, you unlock the door, a war sound horns over the whole map, so everyone's aware of it, and it starts a countdown timer for this gate to open, and then a boss of sorts would come out, and he's guaranteed to drop some level of gear, some tier of gear, or some piece of crafting that you need to make legendaries or something like this.
mhm.
I think I would like to see that rather than randomizing legendaries. Like there was these boss events, like map events, that were the only way to farm something like legendary shards. But to even go for
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
you're at the risk of everyone else on the map is going to know what you're doing, and everyone's going to want to try to get in on it. So it creates
yeah. I
this
agree.
really high risk to actually get legendary gear, but it's really
Uh-huh.
exciting. It creates these player driven experiences and real immersion within the game. That's my kind of idea of what a really cool event, in-game event, could be. Um, what sort of thoughts have you had about it? What sort of ideas you got cooking?
I think they. I haven't really thought of like explicit things that they should add that I like would really enjoy. Um, but I think they do need to. If they implement them, they can't be like completely beta versions of them. I think they need to, in order for it to actually have a good impact on the game, they need to implement them already pretty well polished. Um, because I think they could get some false feedback where they implement it and it's not in a good spot yet, because obviously like they just added it and they still have a lot of work to do on it. And then they're like, okay, actually, never mind. This didn't really help much, and actually, people don't like this very much, and they think it would be better without it. So I think they need to implement a pretty polished, uh, maybe on even on the first implementation version for like these events and POIs and stuff. But you talking about how there could be like explicit, this is the only way you get this high end in game stuff. I think in V Rising it got pretty boring slash it just wasn't very fun mechanic. The end game was basically locked behind this one zone with these like one event that happened every 2 hours or something,
Yeah,
and you could only get it this way. I think having a couple different ways on different maps with different interactions, different stuff, I think would be better. So that you're not locked behind this one thing, and then that supports different play styles for different people. That because some people don't really like PvP, they just want to sneak around and grind stuff. There were even people like that in Dungeonborn. A lot of people would just try to rat around the map and not die, and like get good loot and stuff like that.
yeah, more PVE focused.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, if there was multiple ways to do it, I'm just basically trying to think of ways to really make these um, in-game events exciting and meaningful and beyond just like. I'm just trying to think like even if you do these things and it's going to drop a blue or a purple, eventually people are going to get to a point like there's no point in me doing these anymore.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's always that balance of just like what's going to keep people coming back for these. I
Hmm.
suppose. I suppose that's where you get
And
into.
they could even have like a storyline. This would probably be a lot more work. But they could have some sort of like scaling throughout the season. And so as like 1 month in, maybe the map changes a little bit. They do a little update, and then the like you have to go a different way to get to this boss, and maybe even the boss gets replaced, and they can like show this whole storyline of like the boss. There's you see on the map changed, and like the old boss is dead right there, and there's a new boss, something like that that like drops better stuff. So I don't know, would be
Yeah,
cool. I think.
Yeah, no, I like that.
That'd be a lot of work though, probably.
I like the like you said as well earlier, and we've talked about it, some sort of roaming world boss. I think that's really
Mhm.
cool. I like
The the talk of a PVE boss instance kind of worries me a little bit because I think a lot of the fun in these games are that you have to fight other people to get to the boss, and then there's still like a little bit of risk where someone might come and like screw you over while you're doing the boss fight.
yeah. No, I agree.
I think a PVE instance boss would not be very fun.
I think using that what they've learnt from that PVE instance to maybe implicate implement something like I was talking about, like the key boss on the map.
Uh,
So
yeah,
it's already tested and they've worked the system of it out. Because yeah, I agree. Like the joy of this game is always looking over your shoulder. You never know who's about. That is, unless you're playing oceanic servers, and then no one's over your shoulder.
yep.
But yeah, I like the idea of like we said, the roaming world bosses too. Just because even if you are one of those PVE players, just trying to cruise around the side of the map, you could be fighting off in your little corner, and you come around a corner, and then there's the big bad cruising around.
Uh-huh.
It just adds.
Well,
Every map's going to be different. You never know where that thing is. You never know where you're going to
yeah, yeah.
interact with him.
And as a PVE player, if there are like map wide alerts, you can go and just like rat there and just try to yoink, like maybe stun someone as they kill the boss and then loot it before they do and run away. Like I would love that as a PVE player.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think this game feels good when there's other people playing it, and when
Yeah.
those player interactions happen. That's where the magic is. So I think these events to just draw everyone to the same kind of points of interest on the map, the same areas at the same time. That's where you're going to really get captivating gameplay. It's going to keep people loading in over and over again.
I think I got pretty tired fast of the night map, or I didn't even enjoy the initial implementation of it because the even just in the season 0 change from the playtests, they added a ton of mob density, and it kind of felt like there wasn't any POI on the map. You could go anywhere to farm anything. Like you could go on the weirdest path ever, where you're probably never going to see anyone, and fight like 10 elites that have a
Yeah,
chance of dropping a purple or a legendary.
yeah, yep. When you say legendary, you don't mean the shards, do you? I don't think I
No,
ever
no, it's just
found.
like a random legendary.
Yeah, yep. Have you gotten any random legendaries on that note?
Yeah, actually, one time ever in my entire playtime, besides like the end of season event in season 0, obviously.
Yep.
Um, but it was actually probably a month ago now. I was just grinding. So actually, when I started playing Wizard, I started like grinding night, and I was trying to do. I got 2 ogres in one match. I was trying to get 3 ogres. So my run, or ogre crates, not ogres. My and I hadn't ever grinded night or farmed for ogre crates, so I still needed a lot. I only had like 2. Um, but my run was I would try to clear 4 ogres and a morthog every run. Solo fire wizard. It was just busted in PvE. It's probably even stronger now that they fixed the staff, where every 3 charge attacks on the same thing it'll automatically crit. Um, but yeah, I was just farming ogres and morthog over and over. And one time I killed an ogre probably on day 2 of me doing the route, and it just dropped to a legendary Bis priest chest. It has the damage reflection one. I was like, oh, nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen it.
Yeah, I've only gotten one myself. I think it was like week 2 or week 3 of season 0.
Oh, you didn't even know, you're just a noob.
Yeah, me and Echo running around and off a
Was it off a wolf?
black wolf of all things. Yep,
Yeah.
it was a priest sword. I was like, oh my
Ooh.
god. I don't think I ever
Well,
pulled it
it was
out.
probably one of the bad ones.
No, I think it was Sarah and Moon.
Remember? Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Uh-oh. Hello? Oh, my,
yeah, I still hear you.
my computer's monitor's went black. Right, I'm back.
Yeah.
So it's idle for so long.
Huge content. Talk a little bit about the systems, I suppose, as well. How do you feel about all the systems? So like character progression, vendor reps, and lodge. You got any big thoughts about any of those, or feel pretty good
Hmm.
about them all?
I really dislike the kind of rework they did to disenchanting this season. I feel like it feels way worse to disenchant stuff now.
You mean having to do each
Because
item individually rather than a stack, or
no, the what it gives you when you disenchant it, it used to give you the refined material. So you would disenchant a guy's armor piece, and it would give you like blue bars and a chance of like blue leather, but the actual refined part. Now you only get the scraps. So now you disenchant a warrior's full kit, and you get like 8 bloodsteel ore, and then I have to put that in the forge, smelt it down. I have to spend mats to do that. I can't just kill this guy, take all his gear, and disenchant it for process resources. I have to do a lot more work, and it just feels way worse.
right? Yeah, I'm with you.
And you don't get the extra item that you need to upgrade to that now. So they just made it weaker. Plus, they made it harder to upgrade stuff, and they didn't give you a buff to disenchanting. So it feels like they nerfed PvP in a sense.
Yeah, how do you feel about the whole needing to get these shields and spears and skulls, all
I
of
don't
that?
know. I think it can be a cool system, but I think they should change how disenchanting works so that you have a chance of getting the upgrade item as well. And they should add a barter system so that you can barter like maybe 3 of one thing to 1 of the other, something like that. And they should make it so that we have more storage. They should give us more storage for sure.
Storage, yeah.
I think those 3 things would make that a good implementation.
Yeah, because I'm sure you, like me, probably have the whatever it's called, God tier pack,
Yep.
and even with that, I'm like, yeah, I could use more storage. So I don't know how these dudes without it are feeling, because
Even with full King Ogre crates, I could
yeah,
be like, yeah, I want more storage.
yep, I totally agree. I mean, it is good to make it meaningful in what you're keeping and stuff, but
Uh,
especially someone like you who is playing multiple classes and you need multiple gear sets, like that is hard management.
Multiple
You gotta,
tools.
yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta make some really, really heavy decisions about what you're keeping, what you're not.
yeah. And when you're maining a class, you could kind of ignore like let's say you're playing priest, you don't need gunpowder like almost ever, I don't think.
No,
If you only play priest, and so you just there's a lot of stuff on the map that you just never pick up. But for
yes,
me, I literally pick up everything I see
yep,
at the start of the season and like even for the first month.
yeah, no, I agree. They, in saying that though, they have done a really good job at making everything that isn't, I guess, class specific. Like every item is kind of meaningful. I like that.
Uh-huh.
Like there isn't a lot of junk stuff. Like
You talking
maybe,
about how you can like disenchant stuff that you find?
well, just everything, especially early in the season. Like everything has its place. Like you kind of need everything to progress. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
even like
Yeah, I think the progression is in a decent spot.
your rotten apples. It's like, what do I need these for? But then you get that quest where you
uh,
hand them in for an apple pie or something like that.
yeah. Oh, and now you can use them to craft the critter chow, which you basically it's a really strong early game. You can just get infinite beetles.
Ah, I didn't know you could do that to make critter chow. There you go.
Yeah, I think they changed it halfway through.
Yeah, okay. Um, what do you think about this? As in our last chats as well, I was talking about my big gripe with the lodge system is if I had to pick something, it's the ossuary. I don't like that you put items in it and then it says, "Hey, in a week you're going to get the benefit from this."
Mm-hmm.
I think it should work like the fireplace. Like you get certain amount of materials to put in and then you activate it,
Oh,
you turn it on, and then you get the benefits for
yeah,
so many hours or whatever. It just kind of works more like the
yeah,
fireplace.
yeah. I like that idea a lot, and then that makes collecting ears a lot more valuable.
Yeah, and massive femurs and whatever they're called, black marrow, bone marrow,
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it
you as
is.
a priest, yeah, you got no use for those.
No, no, that's what I mean. All this stuff that's just like,
Uh-huh.
and I'm never gonna look at getting the upgrades for the ossuary, especially early, because it's like by the time that first week's up, I'm hoping to be pretty deep into my progressions and
Yeah,
like,
and they changed it now that so that you don't really even need to get your armor and weaponsmith very high level at all. Um, because before you were locked. you couldn't craft weapon or blue armor bars, blue bars, stuff like that
Yep.
until you got like level 5 with your tailor and your guys.
Yep.
But now you only need them like level 3 for most stuff.
Yeah, you just need to find those recipes as well, the transmute stuff. It's another way around all of that. Alright, so yeah, anything else on that, or we can...
Just in the forge, I think I don't know. I think it's fine. Probably now that you've said it, I wouldn't have said I had any problem with the ossuary before, but if it worked that way, where it was like a permanent, just sucking everything you put in there until it runs out, so that you have to constantly be upkeeping it, I think that'd be cooler.
Yeah, I think it'd just give it more application to players like us, not just people who are playing a little bit slower due to time or whatever they've got. Because right now it just kind of feels like a catch-up mechanic. Then
yeah, 1 week is pretty crazy.
yeah, like by the time that first week's up, all the sweaties are never even going to look at that thing. They'll all
I'm pretty sure Rakan and Kevin had their a couple of their renders maxed after like day two or 3.
Yeah,
they were playing a lot.
I think that was the bug this season though of the Goblin resetting.
I'm pretty sure they weren't even doing that. Maybe they were though, because I'm pretty sure some guy was like, "Yeah, you're just bug abusing," and they were like, "No, we're not."
Yeah, right. Yeah, I abused it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I had no clue. I would have abused it if I knew, but
yeah, it was a pretty handy thing to know. We talked a little bit, or you said something earlier about capture the flag. I had a... I'm sorry if anyone listened to my last chat with Kevin, I'm going to repeat myself here, but I'm curious to know what you think about this. So I had a cool idea about integrating sort of a lot of systems together. So they have spoken about guilds a little bit. And I had a cool idea that kind of, in terms of keeping the symbiotic relationship between the extraction mode and the PvP gameplay together, is what if you could do, like you said, how Imagine Arena was only open on weekends or something. There was guild events on the weekends, and guilds would say it was an 8v8 battle or something. You could only have 10 or 12 people in your guild to keep them small, so there's not these mega guilds of sweats. And during that time, you can participate in kind of guild versus guild war games, and just say it was 5 different games you'd verse a guild in. But a way to keep the extraction alive in that is, I feel like what gear you go in there with, you keep it for the 5 games you verse the other guild for, but if you lose, that guild gets all of the gear you guys have. Also, to enter in them, I think you have to buy a ticket for these things off the Goblin or something, and it comes out of the guild bank, and it requires so many mithril, so many iron, so many field lilies, like a bit of a supply cache, some gold, some glint. Yeah, so it kind of forces your guild to farm up during the week, make sure they have the resources to buy a ticket, and then again, you get so much of if you win, you get so much of it back, and the other guilds, something like that anyway, just to kind of like, it forces people to keep playing the extraction mode. It gives guilds something to look forward to on the weekend in these larger scale PvP battles. Like you said, you have your capture the flag, you have a domination mode, maybe you have a siege where one team's attacking, one's defending, a tag team one where there's just a bridge and one by one people go on, you can't heal up, you know what I mean? It's just something like...
I think that's an incredible idea.
Yeah, it just kind of it incorporates both of the game modes and makes sure people keep having to play the extraction, but it also, I think it'd be great content, and
yeah, that'd be awesome.
I like the idea of keeping the guild small, because I think it's important to spread the good players out to create compelling content and battles. You wouldn't want to just see one guild just absolutely crushing everyone all the time.
I'm a very solo player in a lot of the games I played. So like this big MMO, like war, like 100 versus 100, has never like been appeasing to me. I like the idea of like 8 to 10 people in a guild. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think one problem is that they would definitely need to have some sort of matchmaking, either with like hours played or something like that, because some guilds would be really, really bad and some guilds would be really, really good, even with like, even if it was only 6 people. Like one guild would completely stomp the other one and it wouldn't be fun for those guys at all, I feel like.
Yeah. I
Because
know.
the skill disparity in this game is massive.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever, on that note, did you ever play any of the Clash tournaments in League?
A couple.
So, obviously this is a very complicated system and it's daydreaming about a way they could do it, obviously, but
Uh-huh.
you know how they did it in that it was like each player in the team had their own individual solo, duo ranked or flex rank,
Yep.
and it would put you in a bracket based off the average of your team's ranking. So, I mean, that's a way they could kind of do something like that. Just say they had ranked 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and everyone had their ranking in that, and then it would kind of,
Oh yeah, for arena.
yeah, it would compile
Yeah.
your guild's skill level based on something like that, and then put you in
Yeah, that'd be cool.
brackets determined by that
Uh-huh.
sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be like perfect.
Again, that it requires a huge player base compared to what we have right now, but it's fun to daydream and just chat about what could be,
And a lot of that work too.
yeah, a lot of work, yeah. But I mean, it's cool to just get some of these ideas out there, and hopefully someone's listening and they can take on
Yeah,
board. But
that would be like probably my ideal future vision of what Legacy turns into.
yeah,
I think I'd love that.
yeah, me too. I think that'd be great. I think seeing, the top three guilds at the end of a season too, maybe get some real cool cosmetic. So to let everyone know, like a weapon skin that's fiery or icy or something like that. Something that you
Yeah, the
see.
weapons, the different weapon rarities have no difference between, like, you can't tell if someone's holding a white weapon or a legendary weapon.
Yeah,
So I guess they could introduce visual cosmetics for only the weapons.
yeah, yeah. I think that would be
But I'm pretty
awesome.
sure they want to make it so that you'll be able to tell what rarity someone is holding of a weapon, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd even be nice to see the difference between purple and legendaries at the moment, which they've said they're going to do. I think it's just a priority system with their small team. I don't think that's the most pressing issue right now, which I agree with.
Yeah.
The new player experience, what are you hoping for with this Greenwood? Do you think it's going to fix a lot of the problems?
I'm not sure. I think it's a step in the right direction, maybe. But I feel like they need that along with better visuals and UI to like teach the player how stuff works, and like actual descriptions of abilities and timers so that they can learn the mechanics, stuff like that. But like all of that combined together, I think is great, and this is like one step towards it. So yeah, I think it's a good addition.
You a lot of people talk about the fear of there's just going to be Timmy stompers hanging out in there. Do you foresee that being a big issue? Are there a lot of that on?
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, I can only really speak for the OCE community, and it's a pretty friendly place. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of reses going out when you can tell someone's new. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel there's a few people that are pretty brutal. There always is going to be.
Yeah.
But I can't see any of the OCE boys having a fun time going into the farm map and stomping new players.
It would be hard because like 80% of it is PvE only, so I don't even know how you'd sit in there and try to entice them into the PvP zone or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sit behind trees, wait for them to come in and
Yeah.
get the cheap shot
I
off.
feel like that'd be so boring.
It'd be horribly boring. I mean,
Even in this season, where a lot of people were complaining about Temmie stomping, probably a lot of people complained about last season as well. Um, but even this season, I feel like all the regions, there were definitely a lot of complaints about it, but I don't think there were actually a lot of experienced players going to beginner areas and just like killing them all. I think people just don't understand how bad they are at first when they're starting the game, and that they're just getting killed by other people that have maybe like 200, 300 hours that aren't actually that good. They're just better than you because you just started the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like the first 50 plus hours of me playing this game was me just getting my ass handed to me over
Yeah.
and over and over again, but just you got to push through. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, well, why should I have to play a game for 100 hours to
Uh,
start getting enjoyment out of it? And it's like, well, if you can't. But I feel like that's any game. I feel like League of Legends has an even steeper learning curve than a game like this.
oh, I hate League.
With all the
I
characters in
played a
it.
lot
And,
of League. Yeah, there's so many characters. There's a lot to learn.
yeah, so I feel like it's not a unique thing to Legacy that you need to spend time. And it does
Uh,
take time, but the reward.
and it's completely up to you as well. If like you can have fun learning a game efficiently and like being smart, okay, I need to learn what I need to loot for the character that I know I like, and then I need to learn how to get a little bit better at this character. So I need to go into the map and sneak around and try to find the things that I need, and maybe PvP someone else if they look like they're not very good. You just gotta be smart about it. You gotta like play each map fast, get out when you have a couple things that you know you need, and just like learn the game slowly. I feel like a lot of people, I don't know what's wrong with Legacy, but so many people that come to this game, I feel like aren't competitive and don't play PvP games much for some reason, even though it's a full loot, hardcore, like very brutal experience of a game.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is.
I maybe it's because a lot of the dev team is linked back to WoW stuff. I don't know, or slash the CEO likes MMO games. Maybe it brings a lot of MMO PvE players. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. How do you think doing another free weekend for season 2 is a good idea?
Oh yeah, I don't really see any downside. I think that was great.
Yeah, I
Plus the
agree.
discount. I think it helped the population a lot.
Yeah,
And I think that, like you said, even just this problem here where people are complaining about Timmy Stompers, the more players there are, the more people there will be in your matches that are just like you and are trying to learn the game. And you can have a lot of fun even if you're dying to other people. A lot of them will be just as bad as you, and maybe you can like, even if you get completely stomped, maybe you had a chance to learn one thing, and then boom, that's exciting. Now you can practice that one thing that you learned and get better.
yeah. I think it just takes a certain mindset person. I think someone who gets easily frustrated and doesn't like losing, I guess, is going to have a hard time sticking through to getting
Yeah,
results.
yeah. I think I I loved Dungeonborn because it was so easy to just go into the starter map and then run around the map and ignore most of the PvE and just fight people. That's literally all I did for the first like week of me of or maybe even the first month. I would just load in, I would learn where most people are hanging around in the map, and I'd go there and try to fight people over and over and over and over until I got good at the game. And back then, like it was a new game. I guess the skill of the population does rise pretty fast because Dungeonborn only lasted like 4 or 5 months, and by the end of it, there was like a massive difference between really good players and people that are just starting the game. Because to me, when I think of Legacy, it's like a brand new game to me, and I don't think the skill ceiling should be too far from what a new player is. Um, but obviously, that's not true. Like there's a big skill difference, even though the game is somewhat new, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, and I agree. There is a massive difference. But I don't think it takes that long to get yourself there if you dedicate yourself. And I think, like you said, you need to have the goal of trying to get better and thinking about what you're actually doing wrong and how to
Uh,
counter things. I think just
and maybe that's something that's wrong with Legacy, where it's not a fun experience to run around. It was probably a lot more fun in Dungeonborn, partly because there was this thing called heirlooms. There was like an heirloom system. Have you played Dark and Darker?
no, I haven't.
Okay, I didn't really either, but there was like this squire system apparently where you could like grind to get a better set of starter gear every time you died. It
Right.
was similar to that in Dungeonborn, but it was very fun to grind for it. And so like I would kind of go into the game with the goal of progressing my heirlooms and just PvPing people. But I think in this game, the learning experience is probably less fun. I probably wouldn't have much fun if I started just now in Legacy. Well, especially now that the pop is so low. Um, but maybe that's just a pop issue as well, where it's not fun when there are less players. But if there are more players, it's really fun to just load into a map with nothing and just run around and try to like 0 to hero basically every single match.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I think population is the answer when you think about what is the problem to this, what's the main problem here. I think population probably covers the answer to a lot of the issues people have in game right now.
Yeah.
I would say. Well, for the little back end of this, I like to do a little bit of chat about the Paladin, I suppose. A little bit of daydreaming about what you'd like to see, what you think some of the things we might see are. Let's start with this, because I haven't actually talked about this with anyone else. I was having a thought yesterday about the Paladin class tool belt. What do you think?
Like what their tools might be?
Yeah.
I've done 0 thinking of the Paladin, so let me think a little bit. Yeah, Paladin tools. I don't know. I'm not very educated in like old school traditional gaming, so like all these different classes, they're not that defined to me. So when you say Paladin, all I really know is like someone that's tanky and kind of a support.
Yeah, okay.
And with maybe like shield that heals.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the cross-pollination of a priest and a warrior, in a way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's kind of the archetype. I think WoW traditionally has the Holy Paladin, the Retribution Paladin, and the like tank Paladin, which would be your Holy, has the book that they hold, the Librum or whatever. Your Retribution was your two-handed axe or mace. Oh, not axe, like two-handed sword or mace. And then, your tank, which is... Frankie had the idea of, to keep the weapons unique and interesting. Like, maybe the Paladin has a flail and shield. Something a little different to diversify.
So, like, very defining weapons?
Yeah.
Like one is tanky, one is damage, and one is support?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you create these...
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Because, I really like... What I love about the Priest is just how different... The weapons make it almost a different class and play style. Same as the Wizard. I think they've done such a good job at...
Oh, yeah, very different.
Making the Wizard feel almost like 2 different classes just based on the weapon type. And I'm hoping to see that from, like, a Druid or a Shaman in the future. Having... Like, Shaman should be able to play, like, the Elemental type Shaman where it's ranged. And it, deals in spells and range, whereas you could play a melee Shaman, like more of a bruiser style. It's just a way to really create more diversity within the game without having to actually add a whole new class.
And I think making each weapon viable is definitely something that should be top priority for when they add the Paladin.
Yeah.
If they were going to make it like that, where each weapon is super defining.
Do you think we're going to see at least 2 weapons from the Paladin on launch?
Yeah, they did launch Wizard with only 1.
They did.
My initial thought would be like, yeah, obviously there will be 2. But I guess it just depends on how much they're able to get done before they release it, which should be next season, so in like 3.5 months.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what are we on now? We're getting close to 4 months, aren't we, for this patch?
No, it hasn't even been 3 months yet.
Are you sure?
Well, like today. But yeah, because it started 5/12. So it hasn't even been 3 months yet. In 3 days, it'll be 3 months.
Yeah, okay. Geez, it feels like a lot longer.
So, I was thinking the patch would be more like the 18th or 20th, but I think it got pushed back another week because of the somewhat big update they did just last week or whenever it was.
Yeah.
Or they nerfed Wizard.
Yep. Yeah, no, they did say in the last Meet the Devs that they were looking at 27th, but I did see a poster for it now put on the Discord, so hopefully that means
it's a cool picture.
It is, yeah. I'm hoping that they've.
I really like the text change from the old Legacy logo.
Yeah, I don't know if I noticed that. I'll have to go back and take a little looky.
I'm looking right now. The old logo I really did not like, but this new, where is it? I posted it somewhere. Images, there it is. Yeah, the new logo in that picture looks epic.
What channel is it in?
I just posted it in my like private Discord. Let me look.
Maybe send the picture.
I think it's in announcements. Yeah, there it is. It's in announcements. In the middle of that new message.
Ah, yeah, yep. One of the old ones.
Side by side. Where is it?
Oh yeah, chuck that email chat there.
Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Boom. Yeah, that's the old one.
Yeah, right. So it's gone from a priest effect to a fire mage effect.
Yeah.
No, it does look much cooler, I agree. Yeah, well, I suppose it's probably a bit hard for you to speculate too much on the paladin if you're not too familiar with the class archetypes, but
yeah, basically my only experience with a lot of classes in games is from like some modded different version of a game I'd play. Like I really like Minecraft, so like I'd play modded Minecraft where you had different classes, like a paladin, a priest, hunter, ranger, rogue, stuff like that. And then also in Valheim, there's this mod where you can spec into different classes, and that's like about it.
I'm a big Valheim enjoyer too, and yeah, Kevin told me you guys were playing that again. I have tried to work out how to get that mod to make classes and stuff. I'll have to get you to show me how to do that one time because I was pretty interested. How do they feel? Is it fun?
Yeah, very fun. Not very balanced though. It probably ruins kind of the difficulty of Valheim feeling. Maybe they can balance it. Maybe it has been balanced since I last played it, because I guess the game has been getting developed a lot. So maybe the mod workers have been working on that.
Did you ever see the Asmongold did the video of those guys that were developing like the full RPG inside of Valheim, and they'd built all those cities and everything?
Oh wow, no, I didn't
Oh man, I'll try and find it and link it to you later. But that looked amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, these guys have done a lot of work developing all these quest lines and these cities in the game. And
for a mod on Valheim?
Yeah, dude, it looked absolutely amazing. I'll try to find it for you later.
I feel like Minecraft mods are kind of like towards that advancement, that advanced. It like completely changes the game, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I've never played Minecraft, but I've played a lot of Valheim. I love that.
Very good game.
Yeah, right. I always just looked at it and thought, I don't know if this is for me. I thought it was for kids, but I'll trust you.
Oh, Minecraft. Oh, I was talking about Valheim, but yeah, I think they're both great games. Definitely. How old are you? Like 40?
35, almost 40.
Okay, 5 more years.
5 more to go.
My oldest brother is 32, so you're basically his age.
Yeah, yep.
But I probably wouldn't be into Minecraft at all if I'd grown up maybe 5 or 8 years later.
Yeah, true. Well, we've covered most of the big things I wanted to chat about. I don't know if you've got anything else you wanted to bring up.
I think that's it.
Any big...
Was there like a 70-year-old? I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere on the Discord that there was like a 70 or 80-year-old playing Valheim, or not Valheim, Legacy. Did you see that?
No. I've seen like the 80-year-olds playing WoW and stuff.
Yeah. I think someone sent a clip of him talking to like a really old guy in voice chat. It was funny.
Yeah, right. Do you have any big content or anything coming up that you want to hype for the people? I've got your Twitch there. Is there you've got a YouTube channel as well, don't you?
I do, yeah. That's where I really like making videos. I've been trying to get better. I recently swapped from using a really old editing software to DaVinci Resolve, and so I've been learning that. It's been really fun. I just make YouTube videos kind of for myself and to grow the channel, obviously. But I just have a lot of fun. It's kind of like an art project to me.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I only started learning it for Legacy, and I'm using Movavi. Found it's all
Never
right.
heard of it.
Does what I need it to do. It wasn't too expensive, so I thought that's a good entry
Nice, nice.
to learn.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh well, yeah. That's about it, guys. Please go over, give Swanifier a like, subscribe to his channels. I'm sure there'll be a link to your YouTube from your Discord, not Discord, your Twitch that I've got there on screen.
Yeah, yeah, there is.
If not, I'm sure they
Awesome.
can find you.
Thanks for talking.
No, thanks for coming, man. I was pumped when you said yes to this. I really appreciate your time and looking forward to getting stomped by you again in arena soon.
It's fun fighting you guys.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get my very first place on the leaderboard the other night, and then ran into you on the OCEs, and I was like, no. I had a good lead, and then
I think I was duoing at that point too, right?
yeah, you were with the
I
priest.
think I was playing with SP or something. Yeah, espionage.
Yeah,
That was a fun one.
it was
Are you sure you haven't gotten first?
No, I've gotten twice, second twice, but
I thought I saw you. I swear I've seen. Are you sure?
I don't think so. I think I've got 2 second places.
I'm gonna look through the deathmatch right now.
Yeah, if you find one, let me know. Be music to my ears.
I'll DM it to you.
Good stuff, man. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you in game. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, I'll see you later.